Good evening, Turbo. How are you doing today?
Good evening, SRK. I'm doing fine, but the thing is just that I was a bit, yeah, I'm not pissed, but I had to be resilient, let's say like that, because Jeffzel was missing in our team, and I disappointed on Dirt. So we got 3-0 cleans swept on that one. But yeah, now we're gonna see this team playing against the, yeah, maybe the second seeded team that went into this group. But yeah, I'm good. What about you, man?
Well, I'm pretty bit tired having my first competition experience casting in the very first, but I think we have seen a pretty some sick matches already, especially the very first two matches, and the one that we're gonna be coming up now.
Yeah,
Now
indeed.
the match is gonna be starting off with the very first two warm-ups. From what I have seen, that Sith Lord did not have the best performance on the tech map. And especially in qualifiers when Tankrum and the entire Plouf team did a lot better performance, except the full speed map. So even though Team Plouf is ahead mathematically on paper, I think this tiny experience from the let's just say it this previous match might give them a small upper edge since they know how to play with this format. And well, let's just see what will happen. It's very hard to predict which one will be the winning one.
Indeed, I think it's a very hard match to predict because, I mean, on paper I had the fastest time on Dirt as well against Nexotica. But, I mean, when you make a mistake, you're out. Unless the other person makes a mistake as well. So we had a very hilarious match. But, yeah, I'm also very interested to see because they are playing against a very good team. And also Elcon is also up there for, always up for a surprise. And also Scythelord is not a bad player. So I'm really interested to see how everything is working out for them. As we have two warm-ups before we start, and then, who's not familiar with that format, we have a best of 9 series on each track. So that means that we play till a point limit of 5 without tennis modes, and then you get a point when you win this match. And if you have 3 points collected, so if you win 3 maps, you are the winner. And yeah, what do you think? What is your prediction? Will it be a 5-0 clean sweep, or do you think that Scythelord has a chance here?
Actually, watching the warm-up, you can see that Tankrum is a bit shaky on some of the turns, but Sith Lord as well. And I think it will all come down to the consistency in the first round, as we're gonna start in just 2 seconds. Tankrum versus Sith Lord, the first 1v1 against Plouf against Ascended Soldiers. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, I'm just gonna take it over here. And let's go here with the first round, as we see Tankrum already with a way more inside approach. So he gains that extra 0.05. So he's already in the lead, but maybe Sithlord can capitalize from a mistake here. Also a very inside approach, so he has not a lot of speed to work with here. So you can see Tankrum really putting in the right lines, and also Sithlord with the adjustment of his drift. So Tankrum already 0.3 in the lead. Going into the last part of the track, Sithlord also not with the best amount of speed, so Tankrum is extending his lead here, and this looks like a great time actually here. If he survives the ending, of course, he saves it a little bit here, loses 0.1 of a second, or it is Sithlord gaining 0.1, but yeah, Tankrum takes it safely in the ending with a 38.61. I would not consider that a really fast time, but it's the first point for them.
Yeah, Sith Lord trying to play on the consistency side, trying to wait for the Tankrum making mistakes. Actually, the 38.8 wasn't that too bad of a time for Sith Lord's skill, and from what we have seen, that what he has set, so that was a pretty rigid pace from him. But in the next round, this round, we already see that Sith Lord is actually battling against Tankrum, being a 0.2 ahead already. But in this intersection, he has been very shaky and saves quite a bit, and that already we can see that Tankrum already has caught up the 0.2, and they're basically even in this turn. And in this checkpoint, only 0.02 difference, and it's going to be a very close round. Tankrum a bit pushing, but Sithlord trying to defend his first position, trying to save it, and it all comes down to the last turn. Tankrum a bit saving on the risky side. Sithlord blows out, and he's going to be an easy point for Tankrum with a 0.55, a lot better time in the last round. Also a bit showing his consistency on the side, but it's going to be a second point for Team Plouf.
Yeah, I mean, that was such an unfortunate mistake there from Sithlord. He was ahead all rounds, and I feel very bad for him because, I mean, in chat he says, okay, I'm getting 5-0, 5-0, so I think he's not believing in himself. But he has the pace, and he can make it happen, so maybe he can get 1 or 2 points, or maybe even 4 or 5 when Tankrum makes mistake. Also a very awkward line, so Tankrum with a mistake here. So Sithlord is way ahead. He has way more speed going through this, yeah, fastest section of the map, we can say. So it's Tankrum being 1 second behind. Oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry. I completely jinxed him. But then the pressure is kicking in, and Tankrum will eventually win it. So Sithlord could have won 2 rounds here. I mean, this last one and this one. But he makes that mistake. So Sith Lord is down 3-0. And this was a mistake that you don't have to do when you're ahead.
Yeah, Sith Lord actually can beat Tankrom pace-wise, because the times aren't that fast. But he just lacks the consistency, and I think the lack of competition experience a bit plays a big role here. And so in this round, we see that Sith Lord opening the map with pretty wide lines, but he still managed to be in the lead. Also in the tight sections, usually Sith Lord saves quite a bit here, and yes, that will give Tankrom an extra chance to push it in the front, a bit giving a 0.2 lead. Tankrom was trying to save it. Will he save it? And very risky, very risky. It's gonna be now even to the last 2 turns, and the Sith Lord very awkward turn, and it's gonna be Tankrom on the leading positions, and it's gonna be Whittle-Giddy, no mistakes in the end. It's gonna be point for Tankrom and Team Plouf, bringing them to the match point in the next round.
Yeah, already this could have also been 2-2 at this point, and Sith Lord could have won this round because we have seen, like, after the speedy section, it was Tankrom not with the best amount of speed. He had to readjust his line very often. But yeah, let's see if Tankrom can use his first attempt. But it's Sith Lord with a mistake there. So it's looking very good. So Tankrom just has to survive it here. Let's go into the spectator camera from Tankrom here. From his point of view, he's 1 second ahead. Let's see, he knows that he's ahead because he most likely has a shot caller. He's probably also in voice with his teammates. He's more than 1 second ahead. Tankrom is taking it very safe, as you can see, not taking the optimal lines, and this could be the 5-0 clean sweep, but this could have gone into another direction as well. But yeah, Tankrom is eventually winning it here with a 38.77 to look very safe. But yeah, Sith Lord making a mistake just at the start. GG, 5-0 clean sweep for his team.
Yeah, that's gonna be the very first opening map point for Team Plouf. But it's gonna play a very handy role in the next map, even though they're probably going to be facing off against Nixotica, who will be carrying the dirt. But it's from what I have heard that Nixotica is actually playing on a keyboard, which is not his main preferred input device. In this entire tournament. In the qualifiers also, we did not see the best times and best placement from team of Sended Soldiers. On paper, they should have ranked way higher. But I think the lack of experience on keyboard and dirt was the main deciding factor that did not, and actually barely allowed them to qualify for the group stages.
Yeah, I mean, I played against Nixotica, but I think that was my most disappointing experience on dirt because I felt pretty confident on this one. But he actually, he drove good times, but I'm actually interested to see if it's enough against Hedra. So a 6x, a 7x here. So that's like roughly 0.7 behind the WR. But it's interesting to see that he can still play with a keyboard despite his main input device is a controller, because I couldn't do that. So props to him that he has beaten me there. I mean, I'm not a main dirt player, but yeah, Hedra is a very good dirt player. And yeah, I think this one will actually be closer.
Yeah, and also one thing that you mentioned a couple of rounds ago, the teammates are shoutcasting, and that's we have seen actually utilized in most of these team-based competitions, and especially here when in their voice comms, usually teammates give info to know if to save, risk, to push a bit, so they're a bit more aware what's happening on the tracks during the race, so they know where to save, where to push, where to risk, and know where they're in front, and that's one of the I would say the bit of the charms of the team events in the game that we're not actually seeing that often, and especially in this format that is very important since it's just you, your opponent, and the map, and knowing where your opponent is very useful, and especially in this kind of format.
Yeah, but we have actually seen a very close round here to start with, but also it's like a different meta, because then you know when to save. Also, those positions on the car are really good. But hey, we're gonna go live here with the first round. Kick it over, SRK.
Alright, the very first round we are gonna see that Exotic has the very first few turns, but we will see the first few how will the map will actually turn out. Have seen a lot of mistakes on the very uphills, but let's see what will be the case. Exotic actually falling down a bit, not having the best uphill turn, but Hydra is now in the lead by just 0.2. Usually this turn that we're coming up next is very decisive. Usually people losing the gear are having a unlucky bounce, but both players actually do it, maintaining the difference a bit same. But Hydra having a bit better inside line increases the lead by 0.4. And Exotica looks like he tries to push it, but with the inside line, it's gonna be just 0.4, and it's gonna be 0.4 Hydra, setting a time of 38.3, which is a solid round time, actually.
Yeah, that is a really good time indeed. And also the start here from Hydra or Hadra. I'm just calling him Hadra. Not sure what the pronunciation is, but I think everyone has his own pronunciation with that. But the start was super good at 0.30 CP just before that jump. That was pretty good. And also Exotica saved it here very much. And so he maybe knows that he has to risk a little bit more. And now he's actually ahead. So I'm going to go with Exotica. Maybe he can hold his lead at 0.28 CP. This is a great battle here that we are witnessing. And you mentioned that this turn is very decisive. Hadra with a mistake.
Oh no, Hydra!
And it is Exotica also with a mistake. No. Let's see. Where's Hadra here? Can he make that jump? Oh my god, no. What a
round.
round.
Exotica is fully out on this one. And it's going to be that unlucky transition. It's gonna be giving Hydra on easy points in this round.
Yeah, oh no, man. That was a very inside approach, so you also want to hold your gear there. But yeah, that was
a bit
not
unfortunate.
Oh man.
You take this one, Turbo.
Okay, I'm taking this one. Okay, I thought it's your turn. But okay, we see very similar starters. Only 0.03 between Exotica and Hadra. And Exotica risking it so much. Almost has come into touch with the outside of the block there. Or with the inside of the block there. Let's say it like that. Because you don't touch the outside. But now gets the unlucky bounce. Hadra with a way more outside approach. And Exotica with a godlike amount of speed here. Holds his gear. But has a little bit too much of an outside approach. But gets a smooth landing. 0.12 of a difference here. Hadra comes a bit closer in this ending. Exotica is saving it. It's neck and neck here. Who's gonna take it? It's Hadra with a sick ending. Oh my god. What a round was that?
Yeah, and it was super close with this map. Like, both 0.8, just 0.03 difference in the decisive point, and at the end coming to the Hydra and Team Plouf. Exotica now needs to put like a massive reverse sweep if he wants to get the map point for his team in this match. At the moment, we do see that Exotica having a bit better uphill, just by tiny bit close. Oh, never mind, the Hydra it's actually very even now. 0.42 CP, just like 0.2 bit slower. Oh, unlucky. Oh no, very unfortunate touch by Exotica right there. And that's going to give a free round for Hydra unless he makes a mistake at the uphill. We have seen some unlucky bounce. No, he does save the uphill quite a bit. And it's going to be a free point for Hydra. Yeah,
but again, a good time here, 0.75. That's actually, like, I got top 13 with that in seeding. You should consider that. With a 79, so this is definitely not a bad time that he's doing, but yeah, one small mistake here on dirt and the round is already like almost over. You really want to hold your gear on those sections, and you really want to get a very, very good line here, and also a good amount of speed. Hadra's doing it very well. Exotica a little bit too far to the inside, so you lose a little additional amount of speed there. He's 0.09 behind, but still nothing set in stone. Let's see. This turn is very decided. Hadra with a mistake, and now Exotica is ahead again after this section. Can he hold it here? Can he hold it, or will he make a mistake? He's not getting a very smooth transition, but Hadra is 1 second behind. Exotica is taking it very safe here, or almost has come into touch there, but it's enough to get himself on the scoreboard.
Yeah, will this win be a start of a reverse sweep on the dirt map? Well, let's see. This round will be a decisive one. If Hydra takes this one, it's gonna be a map point for Team Plouf. But if an Exotica, then it might be a start of a reverse sweep. At the start of the round, we do see that Exotica is in a tiny bit of lead, but actually now the cars are basically even. It all comes down to the first uphill. Hydra bit saving it and releasing. Unlucky inside light from Exotica, gets a bump from the middle part. That will give Hydra a bit of an advantage coming into the next part of the map. And then Exotica Hydra makes a mistake. That will give an Exotica a chance to make a comeback. Hydra is not really effective. Oh no, Exotica is playing on the nerves of himself right now. And Hydra is basically out, and Exotica can even save this round, and it should be an easy point for Team Ascended Soldiers.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Exotica, what are you doing there? So it's 4-2, so only 1 point for Hadra left, because the point limit is 5, but all good, we got that correct now. But this could have been actually been a 3-3 but so many mistakes, so many small mistakes are happening, and you can see how much pressure is on his shoulder. Header also not with a good line here, so Exotica with way more speed here in this section. But Hedra comes back strong. Better approach in this section again. Also going to that tunnel section. It is Exotica finding himself 0.2 behind. Let's go into his spectating perspective. It's Hedra again with a very weird approach, but he is taking over into that. Exotica with a mistake, and Hedra is on his way to win this one here. Last turn. Oh my god! No! Exotica is...
Exotica rage quit. Oh my god. Oh, the VM from Hydra.
Oh my god. But yeah.
Yeah, but this is gonna be a point for Team Plouf. Exotica did not really judge the situation since the round was not over yet. And AFK'd basically when Hydra made the massive blunder. But yeah, that's gonna be a point for Plouf, and they're coming up on the full speed.
Yeah, okay. Alright. So, we are going to... Sorry, I just had to speak to my mother there. So, yeah, we're gonna move to the full speed map now. I got a bit distracted by that because I had to put my headset off. But anyways, it's 2-0. And now Kaku is playing against Elcon. But I want to stress out here, Elcon played super well against... he played super well against Davos, my teammate, who is very good on full speed, and clean swept him here 5-0.
Yeah, I think very important thing to note that in the qualifiers, Kaku placed 8th, but Elcon placed 7th. Ooh. So they're basically even on the full speed according to qualifiers. So we will see a pretty sick match. I think not only consistency will be the main thing, but actually the pace will matter here quite a bit. And both of them are being top 10 players in this event on this particular style. So we're gonna see a very close match on this map.
Yeah, I think this will go down to the wire and will actually determine if we're gonna see a 4th map or not, of course. And then, I mean, I think they have also a very good RPG play. I think Scythelord is playing RPG for them, or Elcon. I'm not sure about that, but hey, we're gonna see. So Elcon versus Kaku here. One more warm-up and then we will go. But yeah, what you've mentioned there, it's definitely a very important fact here, because I didn't think, so I'm not underestimating Elcon, but I didn't think that he was so good. He's such a versatile player. Also my competition and all the other competition, he is a shining star for me in Trackmania. He's playing super good and is also not that old. So this guy can definitely put it up against Kaku here.
Yeah, we will see. He's a very good all-rounder, showing also gathering a lot of experience from the French competitions and all kind of other events. That experience does stack up, and skill as well. And we can see that him increasing in skill quite rapidly, and being able to perform very well on, let's say, the old school styles, Pure Tech, Pure Dirt, Pure FS, etc. And anyway, we're coming out on the first round. It's gonna be Kaku versus Elcon on the full speed map. It's gonna be full score is 2-0 for Team Plouf. So Elcon needs to win this match, so match continues.
Yeah,
We're starting off with Elcon starting off with a bit better start over Kaku, but looks like he did not manage to. Oh, both are going for the inside line on the FS part. Still, Elcon making a tiny lead, risking for the inside line near those lamps, getting that nice inside line, but he sacrifices the SD due to that.
Kaku
still making the inside line very nicely, but Elcon still managed to lead. It looks like Kaku has a bit more speed, but Elcon is in the lead.
Bonk.
Kaku risks it, and it's gonna be point for Elcon.
Yeah, a bonk there from Kaku. He was risking it there. Wanted to jump to the left, which is I think possible, but a very hard line. But yeah, Elcon gets himself on the scoreboard already. 1-0, goes in with momentum into the next round. As we can see, similar starts. Not really someone losing speed from that nose jump section, so it's pretty equal. As we can see, it's, yeah, like not a lot of speed has been gained or lost by any sort of player, as this start is really decisive because it's determining a lot of speed, because you cannot SD, like, until 20 seconds into the map here. That's the first real SD here, but we have a super close fight here between Elcon and Kaku going to the last section. Kaku with a more outside approach here and has more speed in the end. Let's follow Kaku here because he's right now behind. Can he take it over? Elcon is still ahead. Kaku with the risk here. Can he take it? And it is 5,000s. Oh my god, dude. Holy moly.
Kaku tried almost paid off just 5,000. But 2 points on the board. Elcon does give the confidence for the match continuation of this later map, and let's see if Elcon manages to push this out. The both of these players are really close in time-wise in the qualification. After the first turn, we do see that Elcon has a bit better, had a tighter line, but did sacrifice a bit loose on speed. But the cars are basically a bit closer to the now. It's just now 0.06. Elcon going for the inside line, trying to risk it a bit more. Kaku taking for a bit more longer SD to gather more speed. Kaku tries to get it. Elcon gets the tight approach. Now it all comes down to the end. Elcon is in an advantage of about 0.1. It all comes down. Elcon needs to... Oh no! Oh no! Kaku clipped the end. And actually, Elcon sets a very nice time of 0.4, which is a very nice round time.
Dude, I respect the risk there from Kaku, and actually what lost Kaku the round here was the two-wheel landing before that last SD. That's where he lost all his momentum, and Elcon had the upper hand, so it's 3-0 in favor for the Team Ascendants. I think they're called like that, if I remember that name. And yeah, Ascended Soldiers, I'm sorry, not Ascendants.
Oh, the risk from Kaku.
Yeah, so Elcon is in the lead, and Kaku has to risk it here. But it is Elcon with more speed. Kaku has to do an insanely good ending again. Can he capitalize from a good SD here? It's 0.2 of a gap, so this is huge. So let's see here. Elcon is in the lead. He only has to survive this ending. He knows that, and Kaku is failing
saves it.
And a 46 here. What a great time here, and it's 4-0 already.
Yeah, looks like this might be a map point for Team Ascended Soldiers, and Elcon just needs to take one more round, and the match will be continuing and will give a chance to make a comeback for Ascended Soldiers on the mini RPG and the Dio map. But it's not still over yet, and Kaku is at the moment. Actually, both players are basically even at this point. Now coming up, that Elcon actually gets a bit better just by a few thousands. Has a bit better entry, and both players are going for the inside line. Looks like it. Elcon does a bit better SD than Kaku. Kaku tries to push it for the inside line, tries to get a better SD. Oh, that risk from Kaku looks like it did pay out. It's hard to see in this part. But Kaku has a bit minor legs. Elcon going for the outside line. Kaku risks it. Kaku fails. And it's going to be an Elcon taking the point and map win for Ascended Soldiers. And we're continuing the match on the RPG.
Yeah, so you can see that how momentum can pay off here. And if you're behind, you're really getting pressurized. I had the feeling on the third map as well when I played it. So I'm just giving you my player perspective. Because you said yesterday in my stream chat that, yeah, this format is really stressy. And exactly, it is. But yeah, it's 2-1 still in favor for...
Plouf.
Plouf, yeah. What a nice name for Plouf. And
yeah, it's a bit hard to kind of recognize the team names that were chosen for them. It's a bit hard to, like, if you say like the team name, it's very hard to think, okay, what does that really mean? You can't really have an idea of who's in the team. That's where we kind of give these player introductions at the start, so at least players know, oh yeah, it's like all the same familiar faces. But we see that the level in this event has been really high. And the performance as well has been really sick, especially in the last few matches we have seen. And the times driven here, it's like hard to describe how insane some of the times that like the players do in rounds. It's mind-blowing. You have to play the map first to actually have the idea of how good of some of these runs are actually.
Yeah, it's one of the things that looks super easy to do, and eventually you think like, oh, okay. What should I do there? Also like tech. But it thinks that Scythord does not like believe in himself, because can I just DNF 5 times? But I think he has a chance against Head right here to win it. Because he's also a very good player and he can make it happen. So hopefully he can make it happen here. Because this start is definitely not that bad what he's doing in the warm-up here. This Roofit is really decisive. I mean, the 20.93 CP is like roughly my PB right now, which is a 0.1. But also the ending is very decisive. This balance part and also those jumps there that Scyther was taking over. So you can see Hedra is going for an outside approach that you have a lot of speed here for that ending. And it's a part that you can easily mess up under pressure. And
yeah, this map in general is very... One single mistake can lose you up to 3 to 4 seconds, but we have seen scenarios when players do make mistakes, they'll lose those 3 to 4 seconds, but they still in the end win the round. And I think that's the main thing that Sitlord can potentially capitalize, so we can move on to the tiebreaker afterwards, if that's the case.
Yeah, hopefully
Anyway.
we can do that.
Yeah. Anyway, we're starting off the first round. We see that Hydra is having a bit more cleaner start than Sitlord at the opening part of the map. But like we said multiple times, that mistakes are bound to happen, and they're very, very costly. And looks like Sitlord is very, very shaky in his performance at the moment. Hydra, meanwhile, being already 1.3 seconds ahead of Sitlord. But a single mistake can still flip the round either way. And looks like Hydra is still doing a pretty clean job. And looks like, oh, Sitlord actually barely making his jump. Looks like he released or something in there. And it looks like there's going to be a free point for Hydra. Actually, 41.3 is a sick rounds time.
Yeah,
that is a very fast time.
That's a sick time. That is 0.2 behind my PB. I mean, I was quite regular on this track as well when I got a run going. But like all those jumps, like this start, you really need to get a four-wheel landing. You can release there. And then you need to land on the slope. You need to hold your gear. There are so many things that you need to consider on this track. And Hedra is really blasting it out here. Also this jump, what Hedra did there, this cut there, like this jump cut, it's so hard to do. And Hedra did it super well. He's 0.4 ahead here of Scyther, so let's follow him here. So still not, or again, not a good start for him. But we still have some more rounds to go. Scyther not again with a good landing. So he goes for that outside approach in order to get himself a lot of speed. But he's barely making that jump. Oh, let's see. One more part is going. Hedra is surviving it here. And yes, indeed, he will win the second round with a 41.68. So every time under 42 is a very, very good time. And greatly done by him, going into the lead 2-0.
Yeah, Hydra throwing a very good regu on this map, showing that he's very prepared for this event and this match. Having a very good consistency in this matchup. And also playing on the... Oh, no! Yeah, looks like... it's not the best mental game for Sitlord right now. As you said, that he wants to DNF all 5 maps, which is not the mentality you want to go in a competition in. And but looks like Hydra is still going a very good job at the moment in this round, showing that what he's capable of potentially. And even though other player makes mistake, it's still a point is a point, and anything still can happen. You can't slack off anyway. And a bit sad that Sitlord is not utilizing the fact that the other players. But meanwhile, Hydra sets another 41.5. It's an insane regu. It's a top tier performance, I would say.
Yeah, and you need to consider that you jumped into the finish. You didn't risk the finish. So I mean, he could have cropped off like 0.2 more. So Sitlord again, not with a good landing there. So you can release there. That was my technique in order to get yourself a better landing and more speed. But Hedra again not failing the jump a single time there. And this could be already, after this round, could be already the match point, as Hedra is a 6 start at 20.8. That is 0.3 ahead. This could be the 40.x here if Hedra keeps up with that pace. Also a good landing here, gets himself a lot of speed. You want to exceed the 245 speed. He has 248. Hedra with a beautiful landing, a little bit more inside there. So an awkward transition there, but Sitlord is nowhere to be seen. And this is a banger of a time here. Look at that, a 41.20. Oh my god, Hedra, what are you doing, man? I'm Monka W'ing for next week. Wow, dude, holy shit, what a great time.
Yeah, now that is just a match point for Plouf and Hydra. He just needs to finish one round ahead of Sitlord, and that will be the match for Team Plouf. But anything can still happen. Sitlord can still challenge it, and then we see that Hydra actually has a pretty shaky start. Actually, Sitlord is tiny bit ahead even of Hydra. Yep. So anything can still happen. And players are basically tied, but looks like Hydra had a bit better of it. It's the slow. And that will give a Sitlord an awesome chance to capitalize a point on the top of the Hydra's mistake. It all comes down to the ending. Sitlord will make it. And
no!
Sitlord actually tried to risk it there. And the risk did not pay off, and that will be a point for Hydra, and that's going to be a GG in this game.
Did you imagine doing a 42.07 while hitting the slow-mo block? Holy shit.
Yeah, that's insane.
Impressive performance. But also, yeah, like I mentioned that, you know, there's this slow-mo, or like the slow-mo blockers there, you can easily clip that. And then there's also the ending, which is that you can easily mess up. And we've seen that from Scythelord. And yeah, that's the 3-1 here in favor for Team Plouf. Yeah, I remember the name. And yeah, they are winning. So great performance. And yeah. I'm dreaded for next week.
Well, let's see if it'll be happening, because all of the group stage players are the top 20, so the level is actually pretty high when even we started the qualifiers. And we already seen that actually some of the stronger players actually already who did not make the qualifiers. For example, we have seen that the Cosby, who has been a pretty good job in the PK arc, and his team did not qualify. There was a team called Phil and Sons, consisting of BTR, Uppo, who did actually very good personal best, who also did not manage to qualify. As well, one of the players from the show match who were well prepared also had like top 20 times, did not qualify. And we already had seen some upsets in the qualifier. And the level is pretty high. Like Ascended Soldiers was I think was like 19th or seed 18th. So they're 19th. One of the So they barely made it in the group stages. And even though they were up against one of the top 10 teams, I believe, they still managed to get that 1 point at least, and that 1 point still will be managed in the actual group stage rank.
Yeah, I mean they clean swept us 3-0. They have beaten us on full speed and dirt, so they definitely have the chance. And I think, I mean, did they lose 2 matches now, right? Okay.
Which one? You mean?
Did Ascendant Soldiers, have they played 2 or 3 matches already?
They have played 2 matches.
Okay, so they still have a realistic chance here. I mean, they played maybe one of the favorite teams here to proceed into the next round. And yeah, I think they're a team that is like not a wildcard, but a team that makes a group a death group, because Elcon is super good, Scythelord as well, but he really needs to work on his mindset, because I think he's not believing in himself, you know? Also on the tech map or anything like that, he was clearly better than me, and he was struggling to keep up, like just being consistent. He's very good, but he just needs to work on this consistency, you know? That's unfortunate to see, but hey, we all started somewhere, and I think if he plays more competitions, he can be a very good player, and also a player who can make it into final rounds and everything like that.
Yeah, but speaking of like a bit unexperienced players, we'll actually be coming up with a match. Next match will be Rewall against End Skirmishers, that will be coming up in 30 minutes. End Skirmishers actually being the team that actually consists of all unexperienced players in the competitive scene, but they managed to seed 2.
Oof.
And like Newstick and Madsen setting number 1 on the full speed.
Wow.
Meanwhile, having imagine, it's hard to believe that I'm gonna say this, but mine was the lowest, like the worst performer from End Skirmishers, and he placed 10th. And that was their worst performance. Everything else was top 3. It's I think they're one of the top contenders, and they will be coming up against Rewalls, and that will be up in around 35 minutes. So stay tuned.